Hello everyone, Argsy here. Welcome back to the Canadian Cattle Farmer here, Chilliwack, British Columbia. Now, I have a little bit of egg on my face. I have to admit, I got it all wrong with the Clover Hay, and I figured out what my issue was. Now, huge thank you to Goldie FX from my Discord channel, from our community, who did a little bit of testing on the map, and he's like, I can make Clover Hay, why can't you? Well, I figured it out. Now, we've been through and actually windrowed all this field up, and we were just going to do it the same way we were, and make the whole crop silage that we were doing down in the other field. But let's go and jump in the tedder. I'll show you what my little mistake was and what we're going to do to rectify it. Alright, so we'll get in here, we'll turn things on, we're going to lower this down. Now I'm just going to bring up the menu there, and with Maize Plus, of course, you can go through the different tedder stages: conditioned, semi-dry, hay, and base game. Now I automatically defaulted to putting it on hay on the other field, and as you can see, drive forward with the tedder, nothing happens. Well, that's because Maize Plus doesn't provide a clover state for conditioned dried hay. We can only do it through base game. Put it onto base game, and there you go, we're tedding. Change it again, nothing for conditioned, nothing for semi-dry, nothing for hay. Back to base game, and it works. So that was my mistake. We've figured it out, we know exactly why it happened, and we're going to go around and fix it. I do still want to make Clover Hay, that was the intention all along, and something I wanted to do. So we're going to carry on and do that. So for now, we're going to set a worker going here, getting this field all tedded up, and then we'll have to come back down and put another worker on it with the Kubota and do the windrowing. But of course, we can't start the windrowing until we've got a little bit of the tedding done. The other thing, we are going to get a new baler. I've done a little bit of research into it. I was going to purchase, in fact, let's take a look at that now. We'll do all this talking and get it out of the way so we can actually get into doing some work. So I was really keen on using the Heston baler by 4D modding. We've also got the Agco Heston baler there, both a couple of mods. I tested them out. Of course, they don't work in Clover Hay because there's no custom Heston size bales to be able to use for Clover Hay. So we would try to pick it up and it wouldn't do it. Likewise, I actually tested out our D1000, the one we already have, and that didn't work either. So again, I'm assuming the bale size doesn't have a supported bale for Clover Hay. So we are trying something a little bit different. We've talked to the dealer and we've got a New Holland big baler, one of the default ones, the US spec version, on loan, and we are going to go through and bale that for this and get some hay off it. We will make 8,000 litre bales, so we're not going to have quite as many bales to handle as we did last time we made hay. So that is what we are going to get up to. So to get the work underway, let's get a worker going on this. We'll set them up on some courseplay, get them moving, and while they're doing that, we're going to leave them to it. We are going to head on down to the other field. We're going to go and get all those round bales picked up and moved onto a truck and put back down in one of our, well, we're going to store them somewhere. I haven't figured out exactly where yet, but we'll get them back down to the farm and get them stored. Alright, and there we go. Looks like we're getting that done by the worker. They're getting in and getting this tedded, and we'll make it into some hay. So we're going to leave them there running around. They can get that all sorted out. I didn't actually look at how long it was going to take them, but however long it takes them, we're going to let them carry on and go for it. And we'll be back down a little bit later to do the windrowing. But for now, let's go and head on up to the other clover field and go and get those bales loaded up. So we grabbed the Kubota off the previous field, left the windrow down there, came back and we've grabbed the bale grabs. Obviously we're picking up some wrap bales, so we want to make sure we're not putting any holes in the wrap if we can avoid it. Truck's already down here, all ready to go, so we'll just get on down here. And I can't remember how many bales we had to pick up. I want to say it was something like 42 that we ended up doing last time. So let's get on down and we will get them all picked up, put on the back of the truck, and then take them back down to the yard. I'm thinking at this stage we might actually stack all of these next to the barns rather than in the barn, and we'll use the barn to keep the hay dry rather than wrapped bales, which won't matter if they get a little bit wet stored outside. So let's go and get that done and see how we go. We're down here in the field, just trying to get our first or second bale actually picked up. We've already picked one up and just making sure that everything was working with the trailer. Of course, we do have the trailer configured with the auto load, so we don't have to bother about being particularly neat with stacking. And in fact, the round bales, the way they stack, we don't actually need to have them that way. But there we go, we'll let go of that and it will get into a position on the trailer there. So we're going to carry on. We'll jump into a little bit of a time lapse here and see once we've got the trailer loaded or the field's finished, whichever comes first. This will be the last bale. Well, there's what, 7, 8 left? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. A shame we couldn't quite get them all on. I mean, technically, if I was loading this myself, just to drive down the road to the yard, probably would, but auto load's not going to let us overload it. That's alright. It's not too bad, is it? Right, leave that there. Turn this off. Jump back in the truck, and we'll take this back down to the yard. I'll find somewhere to unload it, and then we can get it back down here for the final few. And then it'll be interesting to see how far the tedder has got through that clover field before we go down and go and get it started at some windrowing. We're going to see where we're going to unload these. I did just look down and realise we could have fitted 4 more bales on by the looks of things. I did look at it and wonder if there was space across the back. Turns out there was, but that's alright. We don't need... Well, there was no point trying to fit them all on because we did. We'd still have to go back down for the last 4. Now, I was looking at that space there against the shed, so I think we'll move the feed mixture out of the way and go and pull in there and unload it. I think if we just unload those right about there, that is pretty much perfect. So if we can get out now without knocking them all over, we've gone and boxed ourselves in a sort of tight little corner. Let's back up first. Will we turn out? There we go, that should be enough space to be able to pull away without the back of the trailer clipping them. Just. Right, let's head on back down to the other field and get those last 8 bales picked up. Just before we do, as we come around the corner, see parked here in the middle, the dealer has been down with their delivery. Got it on the back of the T8. That nice. Let's hop out and have a look at it in the flesh, shall we? New Holland, big Baler 1290 high density baler, and that beautiful US spec red. What a nice looking baler actually, what a nice colour. Looking forward to getting that out in the field, having a run around with it. Should do a pretty good job, get us some nice big bales. That's going to be the benefit of that, rather than the small ones that we get out of the little D1000. So, forward giving that a spin. Anyhow, I'm going to go over these last 8 bales, and then we'll go down to the other clover field. Only the 8 bales left down here. We won't bother about trying to double stack them and pick them up 2 at a time. Let's go for 1 and throw them on there. It shouldn't take us too long at all. When we've double stacked them and mucked around with them, we probably would have just as quick doing it this way. So let's just quickly race through, get these done, and then get down to that other field. Here we are, last bale, and we'll be all done. There's only the 8 left here. Oh, 46 in fact, the grand total in the end. Right, well, we're going to leave the track there for now. We'll come back down and grab that in just a little bit. But first things first, we'll run this back over to the other field, get the windrow hooked back up, because if the tedder's ready to go, I want to get in there and get started with some windrowing as soon as we can, so that we can get back down there and start doing some baling. Well, we've timed that pretty well. The tedder only has 1 more pass left to do after this one, and they'll be all done. We've got the windrower. I was going to start the windrower up, but I want them to do the inside first before the headlands, so they can tidy up those bits and pieces that might get missed and made messy around the outside. So we'll just wait and let them finish here, because I think the way I was trying to create the course of the row wants to start on this side of the field rather than the other side, which is just the unique little things with course play and trying to do the inside of the field before we do the headlands. Anyhow, we'll let the tedder get finished here, not too far away, and then we'll be able to get the windrowing done. We won't even wait for the windrow to be finished before we get down here with the baler though, because I'm looking forward to starting to get some baling done. It's going to be great to try that new baler. It's going to be great to actually get some clover hay made and put into the shed for our animal feed. And we are going to move the tedder over into the grass field as well next door. We do want to get that done and windrowed up and made into some hay too. That was always the plan, making some grass hay off that, so make sure we get that done too. Alright, there we are, tedder up and going there on that grass. Very hard to make out, but we do have the windrower right down on the far end of the field. They have gone and made a start down there. There you go, even hard to see when we've gone to a field of view of 40, but they are down there, they're turning around and about to get started on windrowing. So we'll leave them here, we'll leave them running and get a bit of a head start, and we'll go and grab the tractor, come down and do some baling. Just before we do start baling though, I thought we'd better get the truck cleared off and get those bales out of the other field. Get it brought back down here to the yard, so we'll just bring this around the corner, unload the last of these few bales, and then we'll be set to go. Just line these up. I think just in front here will do. Doesn't matter, we'll use them first. Them unloaded. Keep it a little bit neat. Close to each other. There we go. Perfect. Right, park the truck up. We are going to need this very soon to get the rest of the bales, but now we're going to jump into the New Holland, the T8, and head on over. A little bit of a change of plan with the windrowing. They did start off on the other side, but I'd set the width a little bit wider than I normally do, and we were getting some rather large areas being missed, so I've gone for a slightly narrower width. When doing that, it changed the course plate course and brought the windrow over to start on this side. For whatever reason, if I can figure it out, it'd be a genius, but not even sure why. So hopefully got the width set to a narrow enough width that it picks up everything, but not too narrow that it takes a whole lot of extra time. But we're just going to let it get a couple of passes ahead. I think it runs about 14 miles per hour windrowing, so it should be able to keep ahead of us. We're only about 10 miles per hour, I think, baling, but we'll let them get down and back again, and then we'll get into it. Alright, there we are. I've got a few rows done now, so I think this is as good a place as any to get in here and get started. We do have the baler set at 240 centimetre bales. We'll just double check that. There you go, bale size 240 centimetres. Bale count at 0.2, so we'll be able to keep track of how many bales we've got. Get the back of the chute there unfolded. Ready to go. Turn things on. Around this way we'll give it a little bit better light. Get that pickup lowered down and we'll start going. Now one thing I have noticed, this doesn't actually have the widest pickup on it, but fortunately this is a pretty decent swath, so we're not in too much of a problem, but I think the swath that runs along the angle against the train tracks might be a bit more of a worry. I'll pick it all up, but so far so good. You can see down there in the bottom right is saying we are getting a dry clover bale, and we will double check that. Our first bale made, we'll go and see what the inspector will tell us and make sure that that is exactly what we've got. But I'll tell you what, we haven't thrown one bale out yet, and we're already over 7,000 litres. If this was the smaller D1000 baler, I think what was that, 3,500 litres per hay bale, so it's going to make handling a lot better. Right, there we are, we've finished our first bale, so we'll start get that ejected out. We've turned it off. I'm just going to pull forward over here to make sure we're not injecting it somewhere that it's going to get in the way of the windrow doing the headlands. Just pop out now, go and double check that bale. Should show up as Clover Hay, I hope. And there it is, bale, 8,000 litres of Clover Hay, 465 kilograms. Perfect. Right, well, there we go. All my errors in the first go at making Clover Hay, and we've managed to fix it, get it sorted, and we are now going to have some Clover Hay for our animals. So, like I said before, thank you to those who provided some comments and feedback on it, and also obviously Goldie FX from Discord, who went ahead and did some of his own testing on my behalf, and came back with some results which perhaps suggested I'd done something incorrectly. Anyhow, let's carry on, we'll get started with this baling and just crack into it, see how many bales we end up with. I probably should give a bit of a guess while we're here. What do we reckon? I'm looking across this field, we got one bale off that pass, 8,000 litres. I am going to go for 80 bales, 480,000 litres of grass or clover off this field. Keep that in your mind, we'll see what we end up with. we have it, Clover Hay all done. We'll have a look in just a second at exactly how many bales we got. I'm trying to remember what I said now. When we started, was it 60? It must have been 60, which would have given us 480,000 litres, because that would be 68,000 litre bales. So we'll just pick up this little bit here. We're not really worth it because we're not that close to having a full bale, but that's right, we've still got the grass next door here to go and do. But let's grab that, turn the baler off, eject all the bales to make sure it's counting everything. Okay, get stuck, is it? See if we can shake that one off. There we go. Alright, let's have a look and see what we ended up doing. 51. So 9 short of where I said we'd be. But 51, what's that? 400,000 litres. So I must say, pretty happy with that. And across, beauty of it, it's only what, 1.5 truckloads, maybe 2 truckloads to get it all taken back, which is a lot less than I think the 5 or 6 truckloads we needed to get the other ones done. We're just going to jump straight here next door, get this one baled. We'll just move the windrow, we'll put that on auto drive actually and send it back down to the yard, and jump into a little time lapse of the baling here. This field's just a little one, which won't take too long at all, so we'll get that done. Alright, well there we go, job done. Grass bales done, hay made, and if we just look at our tally there, 59, so we got 8 hay bales off there. We're very close, we're about 350 litres away from having a 9th one, but looking around the field I don't think it's worth scurrying around trying to pick up the last little bits and pieces to get that one out. So we'll just leave it, get this back over to the yard and get things all sorted out. We'll bring the truck over, bring the wheel loader over and get all those bales loaded up and back into the shed. We're going to have to configure one of the sheds, the barn, for taking those square bales. But I really enjoyed this baler. I think this could actually be a good addition to the farm, just particularly doing straw and hay, because we get the bigger bales and less manhandling, which is ideal for us. So we might look getting rid of the smaller D1000 baler and taking this one on permanently. But we'll get this back over here, pack it up and go and get all those bales loaded out of the field. Let's see if we can get the auto load working here on the trailer. First of our 3 clover bales. Go up here and see what happens. Can it disappear or not? Doesn't look like it at this stage. No, perhaps we're not going to be set up for that. Let's just jump into the truck and see if I have to activate the auto load or not. Yeah, oh, there we go. Did just have it activated, so we'll leave that running, carry on getting these loaded up. Looks like is it only going to stack them too high? How many that means it's going to take. In fact, let's just jump back in. 10%, so it's going to say 30 bales total. That's good. We'll be able to get it done in 2 loads, which will be just perfect. 59 total is the bales we got between this field and the grass field. So yeah, 2 loads and we'll be done. So let's crack into it. A little time lapse here of some bale loading, and we're pretty much done for today. It'll be fantastic to have this all out of the way and getting back to being able to produce our own feed for the cows. First load back in here. Next challenge is going to be find out whether these bales can be accepted by one of these sheds. We will have to hop out. It was configured for hay last, but it's not for these sort of hay bales. We will get there. It does say 240 centimeters. I think. Press a button here and let's have a look at configuration options for this barn. So Clover Hay 240 centimeters. So I guess the downside to that, it does look like we might not be able to have our hay bales in here with the Clover Hay, which will be a little bit unfortunate. Looking for all the different options. Can't see anything that would allow that. So we'll just have to go through, take the Clover Hay 240 centimeters because that is going to be the main bale type we'll have. There's only a few hay bales. They'll just have to sit outside with the other ones. They can be by the silage bales just until they are ready to go. Let's see if we can get the majority of those in about where the trigger is. There we go, gone. Perfect. Out and have a look. And 30 bales stacked in there. Nice. Well, that's working well. Excellent. Right, carry on and go get the rest of them. Like I said, worked out perfectly. We have space for just this one last bale. 59 total. Excellent. Right. Well, that is everything done. Very difficult to differentiate between the grass and clover bales actually up there. So very, very similar in their appearance. We'll get back over to the yard, go and get that trailer unloaded and take the wheel loader back as well. My guess is it's going to tell us that the hay bales aren't accepted here. Grass hay bales, that is. It should take all the clover ones though, because that's what we've already got in there. Put that down there, unload them. There we go. Hay is not accepted here, so 2, 4, 6, 7 hay bales. That will just have to move. Probably just leave them there actually until it's time to make a mix, make a feed mix with them, and then we can put them away then. So let's try navigate this trailer in here next to these ones. And then we'll get everything tidied away for the day. There we go, we managed to get our clover hay to work. So, like I said, thank you everyone for your help, and I'm pleased to be able to get it done. I am going to have to investigate whether we need to now get that field mulched so it will regrow or not. I'm also contemplating, and I think we've talked about it before, now that we've moved the cows out of that field up the road, we might actually sell that plot, be done with that. And I have even been toying with the idea of getting rid of the clover altogether, maybe sowing in some grass or another crop instead, getting into a little bit of a crop rotation. But things are looking good. We're into May, grass is growing, crops are growing, animals are growing, everything's looking happy. Thinking about what we're going to be doing in the next few episodes, certainly be a bit of animal feeding, keeping things all topped up and ready to go. And if we just very quickly head on over this way. This field's not ready to harvest and cut already. It will be in June. Let's just go and have a very quick look. Yeah, one more growth phase, so probably be back here in June and quite possibly doing some more grass work. We will see. But anyhow, that is a perfect place for this episode to wrap up. Thank you all very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I'll catch you in the next one.